What's up guys, it's your boy Ruin. We are back for another Kuro no Kiseki video and we have got more scans from the Famitsu magazine. So we got a couple here to take a look at. First one is focused solely on the sword maiden Elaine. The other one is on her childhood friend René, who we got to see in that trailer a few weeks back. And also a new L.G.C system, which I find highly fascinating. So I can't wait to talk about that and discuss that with y'all. But I cannot think of a better way to get this video started off with the one, the only, Elaine Auclair, aka the Sword Maiden, and I absolutely love this character, y'all. Her design, mwah, beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Love the dress. Really like this little touch she has right here with this little purse. Super cute around her shoulder right there. I really like how the outfit here matches with the eye color. That sort of is kind of like light jade green eyes. Love that matching. I also really love her hair and the little nuance here because she has this little braided strand. And then you can also see the braid right here. Look at that. Leanne Sandlot, the Lance Maiden, also has braided hair. So I really do like that little similarity between Elaine and Leanne. Kind of like, you know, Lance Maiden, Sword Maiden, a little bit of a connection there. Elaine over here, she's 24 years old. This sword right here is actually called the Silver Cruciform Sword. And she is actually a tsundere, which I absolutely love. You won't be finding any of that here. You will not be finding any whatsoever at all. Elaine slander from me. Heck no. Look at that. That ferocity. So for me personally, with my waifus, for example, Velvet from Tales of Berseria, I absolutely love the sort of strong, independent, cold, savage side to some of these female characters. And I love that. For her personality, a lot of people want to give her the title of A rank within the Bracer Guild because, you know, she's a sword maiden. Clearly she has skills. However, she finds herself not worthy. And not only that, she doesn't like being in the spotlight. So if you look at the right two pictures, this right here is a Bracer Guild as well. So I'm definitely thinking we're going to have at least two locations. Two different Bracer Guild locations in Calvard, in Kuro no Kiseki, because this top design right here is different from this Bracer Guild right here. So that's what I'm thinking. And this room potentially, I'm thinking could be Elaine's room because she's not really she doesn't have an outgoing personality, right? She's not up front and center with some of the things she likes, and her personality wise, she's not as open about it. So I definitely feel like she would have more of a simple guild room. But like I said multiple times, she's a tsundere. So the fact that that's her personality and she's part of the Bracer Guild, potential A rank, I find it highly fascinating because bracers, you know, their role is to help the civilians as well as to work with allies, right? They work with fellow bracers to do missions, which means cooperation. So the fact that she has this sort of coldish attitude up front and it takes time for her to kind of open up for certain people, I find very interesting, and I'm really curious on seeing how that interacts with some of the different bracers that are going to be in this game. This is definitely Zin. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you have this, I'm just going to say canteen water bottle. You have this gauntlet, arbor gauntlet. Who the heck is this dude right here? This mint-haired guy right here with this golden bronze jackets? Who is this guy? If you've played the Sky games and the Crossbow games and you've seen him before, let us know in the comments section. But I haven't seen anybody talk about him whatsoever at all. Who is he? Because he's with Elaine and Jin on the screenshot on the Famitsu magazine scan. So he has to have some sort of role. Now, let's quit the foreplay and let's talk about something that I'm sure all of y'all are curious about if you happen to peep it. Is this right here. We have got icons for Estelle, Joshua, Arios, and Sarah Balestine, the greatest instructor of all time. Now, I don't think this is confirmation that they're going to make an appearance, that they're going to show up in Kuro no Kiseki, none of that. What I believe this could potentially be is if we take into context of the scan, right? Elaine, Sword Maiden, A-rank Bracer. I just showed you that previous screenshot with Jin and the other dude that's also a Bracer. So this scan is focused on Bracer work, Bracer activity. So what we could be seeing here is potentially long-distance communication. So for example, what I mean by that, let's say Estelle and Joshua are working together. I don't know, Arabonia. Just giving you example locations. Then, let's say Arios and Sarah are working together in tandem in Crossbell, for example. And then we've got the other bracers in Calvard. Jin, Elaine, that other dude, Fee. I'm thinking that potentially the job that's going on here, this conflict that's going to appear in Calvard, is somewhat connected in a way to the other areas in Zumeria. and Estelle, Joshua, Ario, Sarah, along with the bracers that are going to be apparent and actually active, and we're going to get to see their stories in Kuro no Kiseki, are all working together. So maybe, like, for example, we'll have a scene with Fee. She's on some sort of investigation going on. Maybe she's trying to collect some information, and through her Zypha, or if she has a Zypha, or if she's still using an Arcus, she contacts Sarah, or she contacts Arios or Estelle and Joshua, calls them up, and they exchange information. They discuss what the situation is. So I think that's what this is. Or they could just be showing overall just Bracer Gold. Last part of the scan was focused on Von Arcred right here, and I definitely think that Elaine's tsundere personality is linked to her separation with her childhood friends back in the day, as well as this moron over here, who I believe not really rejected, but was oblivious to her confession. The last thing for the Sword Maiden here is her voice actor. Her voice actor is Chiwa Saito, and that is insane to me. And she has done a numerous amount of voice acting jobs for mainstream hype characters, but the one I want to focus on is this right here. So Patty from Tales of Vesperia has the same voice actor as Elaine. That is insane. That is hilarious to me. Next, we have got Elaine's other childhood friend, René Kincaid, and this dude's design matches him perfectly. Like, I mean, look at him. Look at this cool kid over here, right? This government official cool ass. Like, I mean, look at like this nice slick comb over hair. He's got the glasses. He's stuck in his suit over here, looking cool, looking spiffy, looking clean. So René over here is a 25-year-old. He's childhood friends with Elaine and Vaughn, and he's actually also a tsundere, just like Elaine. So I find it highly fascinating that this trio of friends, Elaine, Vaughn, and now René, as they split up, René and Elaine have tsundere personalities, and Vaughn is a Spriggan, sort of like that grayish area of work. So I'm thinking, thanks to his tsundere personality, kind of like his standoffish look, you know, you can't touch me, I'm untouchable, makes him popular in Calvard with the ladies, besides Hime, Elaine, and Judith, because they ain't falling for that act, you know what I'm saying? So he's actually a lady killer, and I also think he'd be making his fair share of men blush in his appearance, because look at him. Now, for his weapon of choice, he uses this orbital gun, and I actually really love the design of his orbital gun, a lot more so than, for example, the one that Toa uses, just because this actually looks like a handgun. Like, look at this clean design. There's nothing crazy going on, at least outward appearance. I'm not sure what these three little slots here are. Maybe they're like different components. They have hidden gadgets inside. I don't know, maybe different compatibility, different abilities. So I want to know what the heck is this is. Is this an ability of his orbital gun? Because as we can see, this right here is a different shape to what we see over here, right? This one's straight, whereas this one's like got this sticking out. It's like half the shape, and even in the visual, it looked like it was doing something. So I'm really curious as to see like what are the different abilities he has. Like I mentioned, René is part of SID, so he's an intelligence division agent, and he's actually highly respected in that field of work, which you can kind of see through his design, right? Like, look at this man. Again, like, look at him. He really gives off a vibe of a person that will be high standing in SID, kind of similar to Lecter for Ereborian's intelligence division, for sure. There was this part of the scan as well. There's no direct translations for this, so I'm not sure if they go into detail about Kiliko over here. Maybe just mentioning the fact that she's collaborating or working with SID. Now, this screenshot here, we've got Vaughn, Spriggan, underground work, grayish area, and we've got René, SID agents, intelligence division agent, quote unquote, with the law. Who is this center man that they conveniently gave us a backside view? They conveniently, in this Famitsu magazine, conveniently put this screenshot with this guy showing the back of his head, which sandwiched between this man's SID and this man's Spriggan. Who the heck is this guy? I'm also very interested in seeing if these two do team up. They're kind of different because they have two different perspectives. So I'm very curious on seeing how they're going to handle some of these jobs and tasks that we may be doing together. And then you throw Elaine in the mix and then you have a party. Guy is not just some simple character part of this game. He's going to have a massive role. He is crucial. He is huge. And the way I know how is this right here. Can y'all believe it? When I saw this, I thought I misread. I was so shook. I was shocked. René Kincaid's voice actor, I repeat, René's voice actor is Jun Fukuyama. Hopefully I said that right. Jun Fukuyama. And this man, I cannot believe they hired this guy to be the voice. Dude, I'm trying to tell y'all. Falcom dropped stacks for Chrono Kiseki. Like, I cannot wait to hear this voice acting for Elaine, for René, and all the other characters. Like, this game is ridiculous. Because if you take a look, if you don't recognize the name, just quickly, if you guys don't recognize the name, we've got Kuro Sensei from Assassination Classroom. We have got Joker from Persona 5. If that's not enough for you, you see that? You see that right there? Despite the fact I won't be able to read a lick of any of these texts because it's in Japanese, could be game of the year for me, depending on how this L.G.C gets implemented, which I'm gonna discuss right now. L.G.C. The L.G.C system, basically what it is, it's in an alignment system that has 3 different components. L, we've got law. Law is kind of like your official positions, right? Kind of like quote-unquote police officers, people that exact the rules of the governing area, of the area you're in. So for example, law would be your intelligence division agents, I don't know, René, or maybe guild members. Then G, we've got gray. So gray would be like you're not necessarily, you're in that fine line of right and wrong, right? Quote unquote right and wrong. You're in that gray area, that gray scale, where you're kind of doing mafia type stuff, but at the same time you're not, and you're kind of doing officer type stuff. So what does that sound like, y'all? Doesn't that sound like Vaughn? Doesn't that sound like a Spriggan's position? So that's what G is. And then C, chaos. And then, so depending on the choices you make as you play this game, it will affect your alignments on the system, and that will affect various things. For example, it will change parameters. So parameters, when I think parameters, I think stats. So potentially what we could see, for example, let's say you have Hime, and you're skewed towards the chaos alignment of the system. So I'm thinking potentially what we could be seeing with her is less defense, but absolutely absurd offensive outputs. Like her attack stats, potentially even her speed, would be through the roof, and her HP and her defenses are lower because she's chaos, she's chaotic, she's fierce, she's wild, she's constantly seeking blood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. That's one thing. And then maybe for like law, for example, law, like when you think law, you think protection, like civilian protection. So perhaps these are more like your tanks, like closer to being tanks. So for example, maybe their damage output isn't as their pure raw attack numbers and strength stats aren't as high as a chaos focused alignment character. But in law, maybe so maybe like more dexterity, more HP, more physical defense, more magical defense. Maybe something like that we could be seeing for law, because they protect citizens, so a little bit more defensive abilities compared to like a chaotic character. And then gray, I'm thinking gray could be like a combination sort of thing. So maybe they're grayscale, they're wishy-washy. So maybe they have high evasion, high speed, and then a balance between strength and defense. I don't know. Either way, however it's implemented, your alignments on this L.G.C system will affect your parameters. These next two, your alignments on L.G.C will also influence the characters you're allied with and the foes. So let's just say Vaughn is over here talking it up with Brigard, and then you have this come up. So maybe Brigard brings up a task, gives him a mission, asks him some questions, and then you have this come up right here. You'll have this cut. So triangle is giving you option 1. Square is giving you option 2. Now, if you press triangle, let's say for example you press triangle and that decision causes you to go down towards the lawful path. By going into this lawful path, you're going to be allied with bracers, right? Because law, upstanding citizens, right? So we got Zin here. Vaughn was also with René and Elaine during that trailer. So law, you're gonna be allying with bracers or government officials. Potential Kilika Roran alignment? Who knows? Then let's say for example you decide, you know what? I want to hit square. I want to go to the square routes. You will then get taken to chaos. And in chaos, as we can see, who do we have here? We have Aron and Rysette. Oh, but who else? We have got Sao Lee, the White Orchid Dragon, aka Heiwei, aka Mafia. So if you go the law routes, guild members, chaos, mafia. So depending on the choices you make in this game, you'll actually differentiate the the people you ally yourselves with. And if you change the people you ally yourself with, then you're also by byproduct going to affect the foes you face. So I find that amazing. Here we have Chaos. Look at this man's look. Look at the ferocity on this dude's face. Nonchalant, who cares? Hunky-dory. Here? Oh, I'm serious. So this L.G.C system, depending on what they do with this and how it's implemented, I think this will take Kuro no Kiseki to an unfathomable, like it has infinite potential. It's Mugen. It's actual Mugen. The limitlessness, potential of how great this game could be. Because you gotta, because for me personally, I like replaying my Kiseki games. So for example, Trails of Cold Steel 3. I've replayed it about 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to replay it again on the channel when I do the no item run if I complete the CS2 no item run. But I'm basically replaying the same game. I'm reliving all the same events. It's just maybe I forgot little gems here and there, or maybe now that I know the events of CS4 and Hajime, when I replay 3, I can pick out things that I didn't notice my first 2 playthroughs. But it's the same. Everything else is the same. It's just the perspective changes. But this L.G.C adds infinite value to this game's replayability. It's ridiculous. Anyways, y'all, that's everything for the scans. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about these 2 new characters, Elaine and René. Also, let me know your guys' thoughts on the L.G.C system. But for now, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy the video, then smash the dang like button. Have a great rest of your day. Good rest of your week. The weekend is almost here, y'all. And I'll see y'all soon. Peace.